Hello world.
Hi!
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Jen.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about
Les Mis!
the movie, musical nerd,
And the film major.
film major. So I have opinions, unpopular opinions. Let's start with things that we did like.
I liked most of the acting. The one thing that I was prepared for was Russell Crowe to be a la Pierce Brosnan in Mamma Mia, and he wasn't that bad.
Everyone thinks that Russell Crowe had a pretty bad voice. I thought he was fine. I thought Hugh Jackman's voice was worse. Unpopular unpopular opinion.
So much emotion was there, and oh god, the transformation. He went from the beginning, where he was just this like gritty, decrepit man, and then he becomes the mayor.
That's the movie though. That's not Hugh Jackman. That's just the play. He couldn't reach a lot of those notes. That was not his range. I mean, same with Russell Crowe, but I really thought that it suited him more.
I thought this Stars song with his suicide wasn't very good. When his spine cracks, oh my god.
My immediate reaction was, oh, that happened.
Yep, that happened. Happens.
Well, he did kill himself, so.
He did kill himself. We should also talk about Marius.
Eddie Redmayne,
You can stop by anytime, Eddie, really.
you are always welcome
Anytime.
to our dorm room, Eddie.
Anytime.
Although personally, I liked the guy who played his friend better.
Oh, Aaron with the Russian last name.
Tabate.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm butchering your last name, Aaron.
Yeah, you can come by too.
I was just impressed because Trip Vanderbilt on Gossip Girl, that was him. I went and Googled him afterwards, and basically Aaron is like super Broadway man, and he's pretty awesome. I'm a big fan. His voice was really nice.
Also, some people have been criticizing Eddie Redmayne's jaw thing. I did not notice this because I was too caught up in the freckles and eyes. Thank you.
Yeah, I noticed the jaw thing. So we can segue from Marius into the Cosette thing.
I will agree. Some of those notes, a lot of those notes were out of Amanda's range. See, usually she's really good, but when she went to the really high notes, it was a little bit.
I was too distracted from anything, just based solely on the whole, hi, I saw Cosette for 5 seconds and now I'm in love and can't live without her thing. And I know that is the play. I understand that. But it's stupid and unrealistic and giving people false expectations for their life. Which, like Glee.
It's like all of those Disney movies.
Well, then there's also me who thinks that Beauty and the Beast is basically about bestiality and Stockholm Syndrome.
I can overlook that for
I can't.
Belle's nerdiness.
I can't.
And
yeah, so she likes books, but
and to be our guest.
has she never read a book about Stockholm Syndrome? That's my question.
No, that wasn't a thing back then.
Just because it didn't have a name doesn't mean it didn't exist.
Can we please go to Anne, please?
We can talk about Anne Hathaway. We can talk about the 3-minute long close-up of her singing I Dreamed a Dream. We can talk about that. We can talk about all the close-ups in the movie and how they shouldn't have been there.
I feel like a proud parent because I saw Anne Hathaway for the first time in The Princess Diaries in 2001. And now to see her here with her phenomenal singing, and maybe it was a little bit too long of a close-up, but that's not her fault. That's Tom Hooper's fault.
It is Tom Hooper's fault.
Can we talk about it, Anne?
Can we just talk about Anne, okay? Can we not talk about things that Rachel didn't like, okay? Did a decent performance, but she was also in 20 minutes of the movie, and by the time that the rest of the freaking, like, 2.5 hours of the movie came along, I'd kind of forgotten about her by that point.
Never forget Hathaway. Okay, the one scene that bothered me was the Who Am I when he's pacing in the church, and it's just a close-up of Hugh Jackman walking.
Nothing in that movie is shot in a way that it makes sense. Tom Hooper was literally just like, oh look, that shot looks cool. That's cool. Let's zoom in on his face. Let's do a big zoom in crane shot from like above. The ceiling in that building is really pretty, so let's just get a frame where this much of Hugh's face is in it, and then the rest is the ceiling. The close-up thing is, like, the entire time I was watching Anne Hathaway's scene, like, first, the dream to dream, like, at first I was okay with it, because, you know, she was lying down, she got up, so the framing changed a little bit, like, that was cool. Then it was just like snot and tears, and it was too long, and it made me really uncomfortable. I couldn't listen to her sing because I was just so concentrated on when were they going to cut away from her. I don't know, any other kind of shot. Literally any other kind of shot.
For me, I didn't mind this shot particularly because it was just like her dreaming her dream, and if you showed the outside, it would have been the desperate reality of her being a prostitute in a ship.
I think the light of that movie was Sacha Baron Cohen and Helena Bonham Carter, though.
I've been reading like a lot of criticism about them, but they're supposed to be comic relief. Like, a lot of people thought that they weren't serious enough, but that's the point.
Yeah, the rest of the movie was just tears. So many, yeah. I mean, Les Mis just in general is really upsetting.
Very upsetting. When the small children get shot, that's really...
Yeah. Some parts I had to restrain myself from singing along because 7th grade chorus.
Can we talk about how amazing it was that they wore earpieces the whole time and sang? They were just like skin tone earpieces, and so there was a piano playing.
Oh, they had a piano on set?
No, like they were listening to a piano,
oh.
And then during editing they had like the whole orchestra.
I think that worked at times and other times didn't. My thought is if it's a musical, you should sing the songs, and you should sing the songs well. You should not cry instead of singing. And I understand that like it's a movie, so you gotta put out more emotion than like if it was a musical when there are people sitting like hundreds of feet out in the audience and they can't see your face really.
See, I thought it worked for most things.
I do think it worked generally. Generally it worked. Sometimes it didn't.
Just want to keep going back to Anne Hathaway, but we've already gone down that path.
Who was the best in that movie?
We're not gonna agree on this.
No. I personally think it was Aaron.
Really?
Yeah. He was great.
His part was so tiny.
So what? So was Anne Hathaway's.
Touché.
See, I keep saying that it's not that I didn't like it, but I think that there was so much wrong with it that it was really distracting, and I think that the only really good part of it were the majority of the performances.
So you liked the things from the musical, but not the movie?
Yeah. I didn't like the movie. No, I didn't like it. It's a good musical, and I don't think the movie is that great.
And please let us know what you think.
We're always open for opinions. Just, you know, if you want to comment on this at all, really, that's cool.
That's what that's there for.
Okay, so how are we gonna end this video? For real, for real. Goodbye, internet people.
Goodbye, internet.